હેલો, મારું નામ છે મયુર ચૌહાણ. તમે મને છેલ્લો દિવસ અને કરસનદાસ પેઇન્ડ્યુઝ જેવી ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મમાં અભિનય કરતા જોયો હશે. અત્યારે વાત કરવી છે આરાધ્યા ક્લાસીસની, જ્યાં બોર્ડ, ગુજકેટ, JEE અને નીટ જેવી એક્ઝામની તૈયારીઓ એક જ જગ્યા પર થાય છે. અને આરાધ્યા ક્લાસીસ સાથે મારા મિત્ર છે અલ્કેશ બારોટ, એ જોડાયેલા છે. તો એમને ખૂબ ખૂબ શુભકામનાઓ અને જોઈન આરાધ્યા ક્લાસીસ. થેન્ક યુ.
Hello my dear students, here I am Dhruva Patel, your biology teacher in Aaradhya class at a CTM. Now beta, in our last session we have done with the one class of the Monera, that is the Eubacteria, and in this session we will start with the another class of the Monera, that is nothing but known as the Cyanobacteria. So beta, first we will deal with the general characteristic of the Cyanobacteria. Fine. So first हम उसके फॉर्म के बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे बेटा. सो दे आर आइदर यूनिसेल्युलर और दे फॉर्म द कॉलोनी और दे आर इन फॉर्म ऑफ द ट्राइकोम्स. मीन्स ये सब जो होता है वो एक दूसरे के साथ जॉइन होके थ्रेड फिलामेंटस लाइक स्ट्रक्चर बनाता है. ओके. सो these bacteria या these organisms are unicellular or they form colony or in form of the trichomes. In form of trichomes. Now beta, these bacteria are covered with the gelatinous sheath or that is known as the layer. मीन्स बेटा ये बैक्टीरिया जहाँ पे भी होते हैं वो उसके सराउंडिंग में जिलेटिन का बना हुआ एक शेथ या कवर बनाता है. ओके. These bacteria surrounded by gelatinous sheath. Or that is known as the cover also. Now these bacteria are the prokaryotic and containing the cell wall made up of the peptidoglycan. मीन्स बेटा ये बैक्टीरिया जो है उसमें प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल होता है और उसकी सेल वॉल पेप्टिडोग्लाइकन की बनी हुई होती है. ओके. These are prokaryotic cell having cell wall made up of peptidoglycans. Fine. Now beta, name itself indicates Cyanobacteria, means these bacteria are the autotrophic and they carried out the oxygenic photosynthesis. So now we'll see how exactly they are autotrophs and for that which type of pigments are present in these bacteria. Now beta, all the members of these bacteria are the autotroph. Okay. All members are autotrophs, means they can produce their own food by the process of the oxygenic photosynthesis. Autotrophs and carried out oxygenic photosynthesis. नाउ बेटा वन मोर थिंग कि अगर वो फोटोसिंथेसिस करते हैं, सो फोटोसिंथेसिस करने के लिए उसमें पिगमेंट्स प्रेजेंट होंगे, प्लास्टिड्स होंगे, फाइन ना। और वो जो पिगमेंट्स होते हैं वो थाइलेकॉइड में प्रेजेंट होते हैं, एंड थाइलेकॉइड्स आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन अ साइटोप्लाज्म। ओके, thylakoids are distributed in cytoplasm, and with this thylakoid containing the characteristic pigments, thylakoid contain pigments like C, phycocyanin, then beta C phycoerythrin, then beta carotene, and chlorophyll A. Okay, chlorophyll A. Now beta, because of this phycocyanin and phycoerythrin, they have the characteristic blue color because these are the blue color pigments. Now by the same way, carotene is also for to impart or gives the color, and this chlorophyll pigment is to trap the sunlight energy for the process of the photosynthesis. Fine. Now बेटा वन मोर थिंग कि जैसे हम हायर क्लास में देखते हैं कि फोटोसिंथेसिस जिस भी सेल में होता है वहाँ पे एक सेल ऑर्गेनाल होती है, दैट इज नोन एज द क्लोरोप्लास्ट। फाइन, बट बेटा ओवर हियर ये वाला जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स है वो प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल है। सो प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल के अंदर इतनी वेल डेवलप्ड ऑर्गेनल्स नहीं होती हैं। सो यहाँ पे क्लोरोप्लास्ट पूरी ऑर्गेनल प्रेजेंट नहीं होती है। इन प्लेस ऑफ क्लोरोप्लास्ट ओनली thylakoid structure is present which contain these different types of the pigment. Now beta we'll move on the general structure of these cyanobacteria. Now we'll see the general structure of the cyanobacterial cell. Okay, so as we have seen with any of the cyanobacteria cell is covered with the cell wall. Fine. Now inner to cell wall there is a cell membrane. As बेटा मैं इसे थोड़ा सा differentiate करके दिखा रही हूँ, so you can distinguish all the membranes separately. Fine enough. So this outermost is known as the cell wall, while inner to it cell membrane is there, cell membrane. And as we have seen, this cyanobacteria is covered with the mucilageous cover. जहाँ पे भी बेटा वो होता है अपने सराउंडिंग में mucilageous cover से protected होता है. So over here I am going to draw about the mucilageous layer. So this is the outermost layer by which the cell is covered and we can say it is protected. Fine. So this is the mucilageous layer we can say, and this mucilageous cover also seen in case of the colony and in case of the trichome. Okay बेटा, do not get confused कि सिर्फ एक ही सेल के सराउंडिंग में ये होता है। अगर ये वाले सेल कॉलोनिकल फॉर्म बना के या तो ट्राइकोम फॉर्म बना के रहते हैं तो भी उसमें ऐसे म्यूसिलेजियस कवर होता है, और वो हम जब नॉस्टॉक का एग्जाम्पल देखेंगे तब डिटेल में देखेंगे। फाइन, दिस इज नथिंग बट दिस इज द म्यूसिलेजियस कवर or mucilageous layer. Fine. Now beta, as you know very well, as the inner area of the any cell is known as the cytoplasm area. Fine. Now, as this cyanobacteria is the prokaryotic cell, there is no well-defined nucleus present, but the chromosomal material is open in form of the nucleoid. So over here I am going to draw out the chromosomal material that is like this, that is not covered perfectly with the nucleus. So this is nothing but known as the chromosomes. Fine. Now beta, as we have seen, the another main character of this type of bacteria is they can perform the process of the photosynthesis. So for that, some chromatophores are there, and these chromatophores contain these pigments, and because of that they can carry out process of a photosynthesis. Fine. So these are nothing but known as the chromatophores. Now beta, as you know very well, in a process of the photosynthesis, gaseous exchange play a very important role, and for that some gas vacuoles are also present which are associated with the exchanging of the gases. So over here we can say these are nothing but the gas vacuoles. Fine beta. Now besides these gas vacuole and chromatophores, they also contain some protein grains or oil droplets which are associated with the storage of the protein and oil. Fine. That is like these small granules like structure, they are known as the protein grains or the oil droplets. Okay. Protein grains and oil droplets, which are associated with the storage of the protein and oil. Now beta, besides these there are some ribosomes also present, but over here there is absent of the well developed organelles. As you know, this is the prokaryotic cell. Fine. So beta, this is chromatophores, this is also chromatophores, and ribosomes are present scattered throughout the cell likewise. Fine. So these small granules are nothing but that are the ribosomes, and that are present throughout the cell in form of the scattered form. Okay. So these are nothing but a minute granule like structure that is known as the ribosomes. Fine beta. So this is nothing but a whole about the characteristic cyanobacteria cell. कि हम cyanobacteria cell की बात करें तो वो ऐसे होता है. Fine. So this is the cyanobacterial cell. Now beta, we'll see some of the cyanobacteria are capable to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. So how they can fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and now we'll see about the reproduction also. Now beta, some of the cyanobacteria have a capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, but they are always in a filamentous form, and for that they develop special type of the cell that is known as the heterocytes. Fine. So now beta, we'll see with the help of the diagram also. Okay. Some of the cyanobacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen, and for that they develop special structure known as heterocytes. Now beta, the example of this nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria is nothing but that is the nostoc. Fine. And these nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria are always in form of the filament, or they are filamentous form, we can say. They are always filamentous form. Now we will see with the help of the diagram of the nostoc. Fine. So सबसे पहले आप देखो बेटा, तो they are always in form of these structure like the filamentous form, but so many filaments joined with one another. And one more thing बेटा, कि ये जो है वो म्यूसिलेजियस कवर से तो कवर्ड होंगे ही होंगे, फाइन इनफ, बिकॉज दिस आर द साइनोबैक्टीरिया, तो उसके सराउंडिंग में ये प्रोटेक्टिव कवर तो होगा ही होगा. फाइन. नाउ बेटा एक और इस डायरेक्शन में भी फिलामेंटस फॉर्म बनता है, and that is also covered with the mucilageous sheath. Fine. Now beta, some of the cells are specially adapted for the fixation of the nitrogen, and that is known as the heterocyst. Just for an example, these cells develop as a heterocyst to absorb the atmospheric nitrogen. Fine. and उसके अंदर ये जो DNA होता है ना बेटा, वो ऐसे condensed form में होता है. Fine. so these two are the heterocyst cell. and देखो बेटा, this is the mucilageous layer, ये mucilageous cover है पूरा. एंड अदरवाइज बेटा सेल के अंदर का जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है, दैट इज एज नॉर्मल एज वी हैव सीन इन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक साइनोबैक्टीरिया. हमने एक साइनोबैक्टीरिया का स्ट्रक्चर देखा है बेटा, उसमें जैसे होता है वैसे ही सेल के अंदर का जो स्ट्रक्चर होता है, दैट इज द नॉर्मल. सो विल रिप्रेजेंट देम इन फॉर्म ऑफ द डॉट्स ओनली. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू ड्रॉ इंटरनल एरियाज ऑफ द सेल ओवर हियर. Fine, as we have seen with in a separate cell, but over here I am going to show you these heterocyst. Now this is the mucilageous cover. Fine. so this is nothing but this is the diagram of the nostoc, which is capable of absorbing the atmospheric nitrogen. Now we will move on the another topic, that is nothing but reproduction in a cyanobacteria. Now beta, next is about the reproduction in a cyanobacteria. Reproduction. Fine. so generally reproduction occurs by the binary fissions, and as we have seen the binary fission with the help of the diagram in a previous class. Fine. so in these reproduction generally occurs by binary fission. Okay. But in a filamentous form, it occurs by the fragmentation. In filamentous or trichomes, it occurs by fragmentation. Now beta, over here the body or this filament is broken down into the small pieces, and each and every small pieces is known as the hormogonia, and then each and every broken species can be developed into the new organism, or they can regenerate their lost part. Fine. Okay. So we can say the every part or every fragmented part, is known as a hormogonia, and each hormogonia develop to gives rise new organism. फाइन बेटा, मीन्स हर एक जो छोटा छोटा पीस बना है उसको हम हार्मोगोनिया बोलेंगे, और वो अपने लॉस्ट पार्ट जो है उसको रिजनरेट कर सकता है और वैसे पूरे नए लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म में कन्वर्ट हो सकता है. नाउ बेटा, ओवर हियर इन दिस क्लास नो सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन कैन बी ऑब्जर्व्ड. मीन्स बेटा उसमें कभी सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन होता ही नहीं है. ऑलवेज दे रिप्रोड्यूस बाय दीज मेथड्स ऑफ asexual reproduction. Okay. Sexual reproduction does not observed. फाइन, यहाँ पे सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन होता ही नहीं है. Now beta will move on the another topic for the cyanobacteria, that is nothing but the economic importance of the cyanobacteria. Now we'll see the economic importance of this cyanobacteria. Economic importance. So beta, first and foremost, as they have a capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, they are used as a biofertilizer. Fine. They can fix atmospheric nitrogen so used as biofertilizer. The examples are nostoc and anabina. Now with the next one, spirillum is this class of bacteria that is the spiral shaped, that can be cultured artificially, means हम उसको laboratory में grow कर सकते हैं, and then they can used as a cattle feed or as a human food, as they are the very rich source of the protein. Fine, means उसका protein content बहुत अच्छा होने की वजह से हम उसको as a cattle feed और human food use कर सकते हैं. Now spirillum is spiral shaped bacteria can be cultured and used as a cattle feed or as a human food, because it is a very rich source of the protein. Because it is rich source of a protein. So beta, this is nothing but whole about the cyanobacteria. Now in our next session we'll deal with the another type or last type of the monera, that is nothing but the mycoplasma.